This is big breaking news. We were just giving a major warning, and they are admitting what they're doing right to our faces on live television. This is now being admitted, and they are telling you the plan and their goals, and you need to be getting ready because the plan that is being admitted, and I'm going to show their documents and everything to even back up the plan that Biden just admitted on live television. Okay, we have the highest official in our country, the president, just came out and announced this dystopian plan that is going to be unleashed onto the people. And when they say things like this, we really need to listen, and we need to take it at face value for what they're saying and what they are warning of, because this is going to change our entire country and devastate our country. And they just admitted on live television to our faces that this is coming next. So you need to be getting yourself prepared. You need to be getting your family prepared. All right, this is a presidential message, and I'm going to also show the documents to back up. It's not just Biden saying this. This is documented. This is a nationwide, federal, state, and county, local government. This is happening everywhere, and this is in coordination, and this is changing our entire planet. This is altering our entire planet right now and potentially making our world a place that could potentially be unlivable for our children and grandchildren. And I have children, I have young children, and I want them to be able to grow up into this future. But the warning and the message that they just gave us on live television is absolutely devastating, and it is an admission of what they have been doing, because what comes next is going to be a lot worse. All right, it's going to be a lot worse. And Biden gave this message, ironically, in front of a destroyed home in the aftermath of Hurricane Idalia. Okay, so he traveled down there to the devastation there, and it's very sad. It hit the Big Bend of Florida at a Category 3, and there was massive flooding, and a lot of homes were destroyed. And the worst part of all about that is that people can't get their homes insured. The average home insurance premium in Florida right now is around $6,000 a year. All right, so they're paying whatever that is, $500 a month, okay, to have their homes insured. This is absolutely insane. And a lot of homes, they can't even get insurance, and they're being destroyed and devastated. I know someone personally with a tarp on their roof still in Sarasota, all right? But he was in the aftermath of this, and the warning that he gave was absolutely insane and mind-boggling. And I had to replay this multiple times to really hear it and really hear what he said, because it's shocking. I couldn't believe it. I played it for my wife, and her eyes like lit up. She was like, what did he just say? Because this is insane, and we know this has been going on, but he finally admitted to what the federal government is really doing, right? And what is going on. And it goes down to it's all the way up to the federal government, all the way down to local and county and state governments as well are doing the same program, and they are causing devastation and destruction within our country, and they are now even admitting what they are doing, okay? And by the way, there's also another hurricane that is about to hit New England right now. So Hurricane Lee intensified to a Category 5, and it was off the coast of Florida and the Bahamas over there. But it shifted, and it's now going north towards New England, and it's expected to hit there around Friday night and Saturday around a Category 2 or 1. And they've also already declared emergency situations in Massachusetts for flooding. All right, so this is going to be a major problem for New England, and there's going to be a ton of flooding, and they really don't get hurricanes like this, and there's even a potential for it to re-strengthen. All right, these things happen all the time. It's most likely, right, 95% chance it's not going to, but the chances there that the hurricane could reform a bit and hit New England even harder. All right, so these things are happening right now, and Biden went to Idalia in the aftermath of it and gave this warning in front of a destroyed home on live television. And one thing really quick too, all right, before I play exactly what he said, because my wife's eyes literally lit up. She they opened up like wide, like what did he say? Like she was shocked that this is being said on live TV. All right, this is insane. But before we get to that really quick, all right, look at these documents from the Santa Barbara County Water Commission in California, right? This is official documents. I'll show the links and everything. I'll show the documents here and everything. Just look at these documents really quick, because I want to really set the stage for what Biden just said and what he just announced and what is coming next. All right. This is 100% real. These documents, I will show the links for them and everything. And this is totally admitted. This is open source, and you can go look up these documents for yourself. Okay. But this was a report released by the Santa Barbara County Water Commission in California. And look at this, all right? And just to give you some backstory, in January of this year, there was massive flooding in California. There was a bomb cyclone that hit California as well. Do you remember that hurricane-like formation that almost hit California and caused massive flooding in like San Fran, all these areas? I made a video about it, if you remember that. That was in January of this year. Check out this document released by the Santa Barbara County Commission, and we're going to get to Biden, his quote, in just a second, because this is all related and connected. Check out this document released just recently by the Santa Barbara County Commissioner, or Water Commissioner, all right? This is their document, and they're documenting January 5th, 2023, a very impressive system developed in the Eastern Pacific on January 4th, affecting the Santa Barbara County area from the evening of the 4th into January 5th, all right? And they're showing the satellite imagery of it. While this initial ban was not conducive to seeding, there were seeding operations in the later portion of the event during the early morning and daytime hours of January 5th, okay? And this storm caused casualties, massive flooding, entire neighborhoods gone. There were these old neighborhoods that were formed in these very old lake beds, that are thousands of years old, and they reformed from all this water and all this flooding, and the towns are gone. This happened in California in January. So they are flying their planes into these systems and trying to cloud seed them, and they spray silver iodide supposedly when they're doing cloud seeding, and they spray sulfur dioxide when they're doing stratospheric aerosol injection to block out the sun. Those are the two main things that they do. And now we have Biden coming out on live TV and saying this insane stuff. All right, this insane stuff. And I'm just going to play a little snippet here for you so you can hear it, and then I'll read exactly what he said too. And this is a 100% real clip, and they actually came out in the White House transcript and tried to correct what he said. They added little words in between what he said to not make it so devastating, the admission that he just had on live television. All right, but check out this clip I'm going to play for you here really quick. All right, it's just like 15 seconds of Biden admitting exactly what the government is doing. So this was an official speech by Biden in the aftermath of Hurricane Idalia just a few days ago, and this was posted on whitehouse.gov and everything. And I want you to know, and I want to know what you think about what he said. All right, just listen for just a second here. What do you think about this?
That appreciation today. I also convened my entire cabinet as part of a whole of government response. And that response is to increase the number and intensity of the extreme weather events and be where we're going to use all the resources available to the government to do it. All
right. So did you hear that? I'm going to read it for you as well off the official White House transcript. And they realize how bad this is, and they actually are editing words into the transcript to try to make it sound better and not as devastating. All right, so these are the exact words that he said. He said, quote, "I also conveyed my entire cabinet as part of a whole of government response, and that response is to increase the number and intensity of extreme weather events, and be wary. We're going to use all the resources available to the government to do it. All right, so why would he say this in front of a destroyed home from Hurricane Idalia? All right, one more time. He said, and that response is to increase the number and intensity of extreme weather events, and be wary, we're going to use all the resources available to the government to do it. All right, so he is saying, he's admitting, even if you want to say, oh, he admits something else, this is a Freudian slip. They know that they are manipulating the weather. They know that they are amplifying these hurricanes and these devastating events that are destroying people's homes. And they know that they have culpability, and they actually have some kind of accountability to take here. All right, they know that they are potentially liable for what is going on. All right, they know that people, once it becomes mainstream that these geoengineering programs are happening all over the country, people are going to start suing the local governments. They're going to start suing Santa Barbara County, California, because they're so open about their geoengineering program. They're going to start suing the federal government because they are admittedly doing these programs all over. All right. And I made a video a few days ago, and I documented how they are doing, the White House itself is doing the stratospheric aerosol injection and spraying sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere as well. CNBC article right here. I'll just show it every time so people know this is 100% real. This is going on, and they are manipulating the weather and changing the weather for some reason. If you remember my video about a week ago, do you remember this, looking out this window and it looked like it was like a nuclear war out here? It was like World War III out here. That's what it looked like. It was so smoggy, it was so red, and it smelled like burning plastic chemicals. This is what it's supposed to look like: some green and some mountains and clouds and stuff, right? And sky. And you couldn't even breathe. We couldn't breathe for days. Everyone was sick. Everyone's joints were hurting. Everyone felt nauseous, and their stomach was hurting as well. And it was, I think, related to this chemical smell that was in the air, because it hit my whole family all at once. All right, so this stuff, they are spraying chemicals into the air. They are using electromagnetic frequency antenna and transmitters like HARP and 5G towers to also amplify and manipulate the weather. Okay, with the advancements in AI, they are now training the frequencies, the HARP frequencies, to be pinpoint accurate. All right, they're training them, and they're getting more powerful and more accurate as they do every storm. Every storm they manipulate, the AI that is guiding these frequencies that are manipulating the weather, like HARP. All right, this is an admitted program as well. HARP is the High Altitude Aurora Research Program. It's a government program. It's out of Alaska, and it taps into the ionosphere and manipulates the sun's activity. All right, it manipulates the sun's geoelectric activity with the earth, which interacts with the weather and creates weather patterns. All right, the sun is one of the main drivers of the weather, and if they can manipulate the ionosphere and potentially mimic the sun, then they can drive the weather too. And that's exactly what they're doing with these frequencies. They also silver iodide. Silver is the most magnetic, or is the most electrically conductive metal on planet Earth. More than gold, more than anything, silver is the most electrically conductive. It just doesn't make sense to use silver, so it's not used. But silver is actually the most electrically conductive metal on Earth, and they spray silver iodide into the clouds with cloud seeding, and they use the HARP and the frequencies to send them through the atmosphere and the ionosphere and heat up and manipulate certain regions to cause these weather patterns. All right, so this stuff is happening right now, and the fact that we have Biden coming out and saying that this is going on, and here I'll read their little correction just so these people that want to act like they Nope, that's not what he said. All right, here's their little correction, because that is what he said on live television in front of this person's destroyed home. And you can even see the people in the background. They're kind of like cringing. They're like, what did he just say? They're kind of moving a little bit. It kind of jarred them too, right? Because what does he actually mean? And people know the skies are constantly being sprayed. And this is from geoengineering. This is from stratospheric aerosol injection. They are blocking out the sunset. Supposedly, that's supposedly what they're saying, but these things like sulfur dioxide actually act as greenhouse gases as well, and actually trap heat as well. So this is up for debate. We don't even know if they're really blocking out the sun. This could just be making the earth even hotter, right? Creating an even bigger greenhouse effect by trapping in this heat here. That's what it feels like. It's still been 100 degrees some of these days. It's 92 degrees right now. Some of these days, just last week, it was 102 degrees before this giant smoke plume rolled in, all right? And here's their little correction, just so nobody can be mad, all right? That's what he said. You heard it for yourself, and I read what he said, but here's the correction, all right? This is what they're saying on whitehouse.gov. This is what he meant to say. He meant to say this. There's all, like, how many times does this need to happen where it's like, they are just telling us, they're admitting what they're doing. It's not an accident. It's not an accident, all right? But you can see here, this is what he meant to say. And that response is to the increase in the number and intensity of extreme weather events. And be wary. We're going to be and use all the resources available to the government to do it, all right? And be wary. It just sounds, and be wary, we're going to be. It's just like, it doesn't even make sense, the correction. Why would he say, be wary, we're going to be doing this. We're going to use, be wary, we're going to use all the resources of the government available. So even the correction, they just put a the and an N in there in brackets to try to rewrite history here, even though that's not what he said, all right? This is what they always do. It's very Orwellian, what happens all the time. They're always rewriting history, rewriting movies, rewriting books. All these things are happening in live time. But that's what he said, and it was an admission. It was an admission of what they are doing. And it's one of these things, you need to be detoxing your body. You need to be detoxing your body. There's lots of herbal remedies that detox heavy metals out of your bodies. I was just thinking that it's pumpkin season, all right? Pumpkin seeds are incredible for detoxing parasites out of your body. You need to be detoxing these chemicals that are being sprayed in the atmosphere, potentially even heavy metals as well. All right, that's been speculated for decades that that's being sprayed as well. But look, silver iodine, silver's a metal right there, right, that they admit to. But you need to be detoxing. Pumpkin seeds are great for detoxing parasites out of your system, all right? Every year, I give all the pumpkin guts to my chickens, and that acts as a anti-parasite, a dewormer for them, so I don't have to give them any dewormer. And the pumpkin seeds also work on people as well. So look into all these things. Start detoxing your body, all right? Start drinking distilled water. There's all this like stuff saying, oh, distilled water is bad for you, all this stuff. I drink a ton of distilled water. I drink distilled water constantly, and I feel like that really helps filter out all this crud, all the stuff that we're constantly breathing in and being exposed to in our food, in our air, and our water supply. All right, so get your family prepared, get your family stocked up, get a HEPA filter for your home. Get a HEPA filter to filter this crud out of the air, all right? And get a carbon filter on it as well. Some of them you can buy them layered, but it's probably cheaper to just buy a little carbon layer filter. You can cut it to your size, all right? You can buy big sheets of it and layer it with a HEPA filter that fits your size AC really good, all right? And that'll capture most of the particulate in the air that you're dealing with that is toxic to you and your body, and then at least the air in your home will be a lot more clean, all right? Get water filters as well, because those are going to be critical. And get ones for your home. Get reverse osmosis if you can afford it, and get little ones too for bugging out, little Life straws, little Sawyer mini straws. All right, that's what they're called, Sawyer minis. They go up to 10,000 gallons. I've drank out of rivers, ponds, streams, everything with those, camping and hiking. All right, I always bring one of those and try to find a little stream or something to drink out of. All right, so get this stuff now, get prepared now, because these weather events, they're admitting it. They're going to get worse. They're going to manipulate him. Look what happened in Florida with Idalia. All right, look what happened. You remember? They contaminated all the gas. You remember that? Just, well, oh, sorry, gas contaminated. Might ruin your engine. You might stall out on the side of the road. Contaminate all the gas for the port of Tampa. All right, there was dozens and dozens of gas stations that had this bum gas, and they didn't even tell people till like 2 days later when they were filling up their car with this crap. All right, and it was just accident. And Idalia at that point was on track to go right towards Tampa Bay, go right up into Tampa Bay and hit hard there. All right, so just remember, these things are happening. It's not a coincidence. Look at all these fires, town after town. How many towns have I covered in the past month or two that have been burnt to the ground? On top of Hawaii, we've had towns right outside of Spokane, Washington, burned to the ground, entire towns. I was in the middle of a massive fire just last week. All right, massive fire. I don't even know if it's a fire. I don't even know. It's one of these things where it's hard to tell what's even going on because it didn't smell like a fire. I've been in the middle of these wildfires before in southern Colorado and New Mexico, and they did not smell like this at all. Completely different smell, and it seems like something else is going on. All right, and why are they doing this? Why exactly are they doing this? Is there a pole shift coming? Is there some kind of big event, some kind of life-altering event that's coming, and they're panicking and they're doing all this stuff? What exactly is going on? I want to know what you guys think down below, because I love reading your comments. I love hearing your theories, because you guys always make new things click in my brain too. When I'm reading your comments, I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. I didn't know about that. So we're all working together. We're a giant brain, all trying to get this information out and trying to warn people and trying to tell them, stop, all right? Stop this stuff. We don't consent. We don't want this. And once this gets a critical mass, people are going to start suing these governments that do this cloud seeding and this geoengineering. They're going to start suing the federal government. They're going to start suing Santa Barbara County for that devastation. This ruined entire communities in California. I remember reporting on it. This flooded out San Francisco. Tons of buildings and restaurants and businesses flooded out. This destroyed people's homes. All right, their entire farming communities gone, destroyed people's crops, all this stuff. And people are going to start waking up, and maybe that will be the thing that gets them to stop. All right, so please hit it up for me down there to get this video out to more people, to spread the word. I really appreciate that. And it helps to get more people prepared. People need to know about this stuff. You need to have a generator, all right, in case your power goes out. There were 500,000 people with their power out from Idalia. You need to have gas tanks for the generator. You need to have those filled up. You need to have water tanks. I have a 200-gallon water tank in the back of my truck right now. You need to have water tanks filled up as well, because the power could go out, the water could go out as well if the pumps aren't working at the water station. All right, so get stocked up now, get prepared now, get your family ready, and have evacuation routes as well, because they are warning us they're going to ramp up these storms, this geoengineering, this geomanipulation, and we need to be ready for it. All right, we're seeing devastating earthquakes all over the world as well. Big things are coming and big things are happening, and we need to be ready. All right, so please hit it up for me down there. I really appreciate that. I hope you have big blessings for your family. I hope your family's safe and prepared. All right, you guys bless my family and bless my life, and I truly appreciate that. And I hope you have a big old blessed day.